Oh, yes, I love this game, everybody. Welcome to EarthBound, a game that I have, for some reason, not played on this channel yet. And I have a save file that is not mine. Where's... I guess we're starting a new game, because that's weird. Wait a second, I can delete that. That's right, delete. Yes. Somebody was definitely game sharking. That is not my file. That is very weird. Okay. Alright, we can select a window flavor if we wish here, which just changes the color of it. Feeling a little strawberry today. Let's set everybody to their default names. Even the dog can just be king. Food. We'll set everything default, just because, honestly, why not? Is my mic picking up my chair creaking? I hope not. That would be very unfortunate. Yep, we live in a small town in middle America. Well, not actually America, but Eagle Land, it may as well be. America wishes its name was as American as Eagle Land, right? What a concept. It's a land, but it's also an eagle. Wait, no, that's not how that works. So, little thing to start things off. This game is a little bit notable for this menu system, which is very Dragon Quest-ish. But you can skip over having to press A and go talk to or check for anything by just hitting the L button. And that basically is context-sensitive talk or check. And that is very useful because otherwise things are a little bit awkward. It's also very nicely placed on the controller. Let's talk to our little sister here. Yes. For some reason, she has a cracked bat in a wrapped package in her room. Okay. Sure. Whatever. Why not? I guess we can do that. And yet Ness more in his typical clothes here. We can just sneak outside without changing out of our jammies if we want to, but why not? Let's have as much airtime for regular Ness as possible. Apparently our dog was not woken up by the noise. That is actually kind of true to my dogs. Or they'll sure pretend to sleep through it. What do you got, buddy? I think a meteorite landed nearby. That's a very specific thing, but okay. What do you got, buddy? What are you doing out here? Oh, they didn't give you enough donuts, huh? Well, I guess a meteorite did land, so okay. I'm sure I can take it, don't worry. What is it? It's a big old chunk of rock. I'll be fine. I've got a baseball bat with a crack in it. It's about 7:45 because we had some technical difficulties setting this up. Speaking of setting things up, let's go ahead and equip that cracked bat. And let's pop open this present that's just hanging out on a hill. It must be for us, right? It's got a bread roll in it. Of course it's for us. Ness just loves his bread rolls. Apparently. What's this guy got for us? Speaking like a normal person. Eat garlic, huh? Oh yeah, that's definitely, This guy's totally normal. Wow. What do you got for us? Liar X Adjurate. Yeah, I would probably be a little bit strange if my parents named me that too, so. Wait, different than usual? Have you seen a lot of meteorites, my friend? That's strange. God, no. I mean, yeah, we're neighbors, but a lot of people aren't friends with their neighbors. A lot of people's neighbors suck. Oh, sure, you don't want to say pigs because you have the pig theme going on, don't you, buddy? Tomorrow I, Pokey, will tell you about the strange... Anytime they give you that, that little structure of, like, I name, I just sort of think of Dio. So, from now on, Pokey, or Porky as he was known in the original Japan, and we'll probably be referring to him as because it's a better name, and I just tend to remember it better, is going to be Dio. And there's a bunch of cops, but we can't fight them. Yet. Not these ones, anyway. We can fight other cops later in the game. Or, rather, they try to beat the living shit out of you for trespassing. And considering Ness's skin color, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this isn't necessarily the most accurate portrayal of America. But I digress. Alright, and scoot off to bed we shall. What an annoying knock. An annoying knock that re-loops when you, Oh, hey, it's you. The hell are you doing over here? Oh, what an asshole. I kinda don't want to help him. I know what a shark is, Porky. And you're gonna deserve it, too. God, no. Do your own work. Oh, what, you're gonna tell him about the time I was friends with some really shitty people? Oh, we can keep him in a loop. I'm not gonna help him until he proves that he's a wimp. Alright, what's the deal? Take the dog, cracked bat. Remember to, quote-unquote, go for it! But you should change out of your jammies before you leave. I don't think it's going to have any effect. It's not like we get stat bonuses or anything from this baseball cap. We get stat bonuses from baseball caps later. What do you got for us, Tracy? Oh yeah, her name is Tracy. I forget if that was mentioned by this point or not. Nah, we're good for now. Is that the right dialogue for that sprite? That seems a little funky. Let's pick up this dog. If nothing else, maybe he's got fleas. And you can use those against the whatever we're running into. And meanwhile, our phone is dancing a jig while it's ringing. Like, wow, you might want to have that thing looked at. Ah, yes, it's our dad, the phone. Weird saying like this? It sounds pretty weird, that's for sure. Hey, he gave us 30 bucks. My boy! Peace that all true heroes strive for and all that. Oh wow, did he just say slam beep? What a strange dad we have. Oh, we got some crows. I don't like the crows. So here's one of the first things about EarthBound that's kind of unique, is that enemy encounters are faced on the overworld. They just sort of wander around, not even according to a grid or anything. At the time, this was pretty unusual. Later on, you saw it in, like, Chrono Trigger and stuff like that, for all enemy encounters. And you can see that only Ness... Oh, you son of a... jerk face. Alright, so one advantage of having an emulator for this is that you can see my mouse cursor, and you can see right now that I can point at the fact that Ness is the only member of our party who has an HP/PP window. PP being psychic points, we'll get into that later. The other two characters are completely AI controlled and basically don't do anything 90% of the time. On the other hand, our dog is just putting in work. Meanwhile, this crow keeps robbing us blind, because apparently we can't hit the damn thing. Come on! It's just a crow. And again, I probably couldn't hit a crow either, so... yeah. Well, at least we got our cookie back, but unfortunately our bread roll is gone forever. The crows drop cookies basically always, I think. Oh, here's an enemy that's much more in our pay grade. Unfortunately, it's stuck behind some trees. Here's another one, though. Let's fight us a quick coil snake here. Oh, wow, I'm surprised Doggo didn't one-shot that. Wow, this is a surprisingly hardy snake. I forgot they had, like, 20 HP. I thought they had way less than that. And there we go. That is our first psychic ability, which uses psychic points, as you probably guess. Life Up Alpha. Each psychic ability has up to 4 levels that it can have. Yeah, that's really useful. Up to 4 levels of power, so Alpha is going to be our first for basically everything. However, it's still strong enough to fully heal us at this point at the cost of 5 psychic points. That's actually pretty steep at the moment. That's almost half of our current retinue of psychic points, and they are pretty hard to recover, all considered. Just like in most RPGs, there aren't a lot of options for... Oh, that was a critical hit, by the way. That smash with the green flash. That's the equivalent of a critical hit. That is... I'll talk about that and stats and stuff in a bit. Yeah, so like most RPGs, your mana points or equivalent are very hard to recover in this game. There are extremely not plentiful items to recover them, and sure, you can rest in certain places, but that's about it. The only other option is to walk into a magic butterfly, which we might see on the field, and if I do see one of those, I'll point it out to you. So you'll know what it looks like. But first, our dog is going to just pathfind back home perfectly fine. Okay. Hey, you must be picky. Oh yeah, who's surprised? Sometimes I wonder which one of us is the real big brother. Yeah, same. I hear a little bit of buzzing from, like, sound emulation being off, but not that kind of buzzing. Why don't you tell us about it? Not quite. But here comes a big old ray of yellow light and a lot of buzzing. Oh, hey, a bug came out of the rock? That's strange. A bee. I am not. It's Buzz Buzz, everybody. And indeed, Buzz Buzz is not a bee. Buzz Buzz is actually more of like a dung beetle. My question is, when is this ancient time that it was passed down from, and why is there a sentient dung beetle talking to us? Wisdom, courage, and oh wait, no, wrong series. Tell 3 boys and a girl who defeat Gigas. Tell us more later. Do not be anxious about the future. Not really, but we'll just say yes to placate this dude. Buzz Buzz now joins us. Okay. I think the animation of the overworld is just frozen, but it definitely looks like Buzz Buzz is just sitting on Porky's face and he's just upset about this. Yeah, you definitely sound like you're not into this sort of thing. You're a bit of a wimp, and that was a strange sounding low rumble there. That was not part of the music before, and it's not coming from Buzz Buzz. You got anything? Come visit him later and alone. Okay. He's gonna be dead by the time we see him next, isn't he? Nah, it's not that kind of game. I know what happens in this game. Don't try to tell me what's going on here. Whoa! It's been a long time, Buzz Buzz. It's an astronaut. That's foiling Master Gigas' plans. The useless insect. What was Buzz Buzz before then is my question. The Starman Jr. And for this, we're going to turn on auto fight and do nothing. Because this fight is borderline scripted. It's not truly scripted, but it follows a fixed pattern. Where... yeah, so... Starman Jr. is going to try to cast a bunch of psychic moves that are fairly strong, at least for this part of the game, and Buzz Buzz is going to throw up a shield. And that shield is going to absorb the hits, and on the off turns, hopefully Buzz Buzz is going to attack for massive damage. And it says Psychic Shield became stronger, but it's more like it gets refreshed. Wow, 28 damage. Don't wear yourself out there, Buzz Buzz. You're really not impressing me right now. If only you were like a real party member, you could gain experience and maybe learn actual abilities. Now we'll be fighting enemies sent by Gigas, as well as humans who have evil thoughts, who are completely irrelevant to the Gigas story, I suppose. It is the truth, so listen. Okay, Alex Jones. I'm just saying, it's one of those things that sounds something like something he'd say, you know? Nice cactus. Oh, there's nothing wrong with the cactus? Okay, that's fine. lost, apparently. Alright, buddy. And they just dutifully walk off so that way their father can beat the living shit out of them. In the original Japanese, it is more of like a striking sound, but they changed it for the American version because, you know, they don't want to allude to domestic violence and all that in a kid's game. Although, honestly, they didn't do a very good job. They would really have had to have changed this a lot more in order to cover it up. You have a cactus. Fuck off with your poverty, dude. You're doing fine. If you were really poor, you would have eaten it by now. Wait, what? No, it's because this guy has, like, an actually nice house. This is... Frankly, this looks nicer than the house that we live in real life. Ah, yes, even the greatest of heroes succumb to the power of Karens. Oh, nope, Buzz has time to let out a post-death speech. Pre-post-death, I don't... Each of these locations is our sanctuary, okay. One of them is near Winnett, it is called Giant Step. Do I understand? Yes. Soundstone? Those noises were from you passing it, weren't you? Weren't they? Not from you nearly dying. Anyway, this does its plot thing. We can make Buzz retell the story for some reason, but okay. Yes, give me the shiny rock. Hooray! Buzz is dead. Oh well. And to give you an idea as to how almost dawn it is, we could sit here listening to Buzz retell the story for 10 hours, and it will suddenly just turn into daytime as soon as we walk out. Makes perfect sense to me. Let's go walk back into our house and get ambushed. Excellent. Look at the camera. Say Fuzzy Pickles. Yep. An iconic moment if ever there was one. I don't know why that guy has to spin to go up and down, but maybe that's just something about physics. Let's have some steak at like 6 in the morning. And then go to sleep, and then wake up, not even in our pajamas. Ness just went to sleep in his baseball uniform. What a character. What a fella. Let's go and do plot things. Oh, fuck off, Crow. Nice. We are getting all kinds of critical hits, by the way. It's been pretty fantastic up to this point. Let's take that cookie. And now I'm going to pop open that status menu because I want to see... Oh, wow, only 2 guts points. Okay. So, let's have a quick look at our stats and see if we can get a little bit of understanding here as to how this works. Offense and defense do basically what you would expect them to. Same with speed. Although, speed, there is some fluctuation involved. Like, it's not an exact thing. It's not like Pokemon where, oh, you have this exact 1 point of speed over the other Pokemon, you're guaranteed to go first. Barring anything that involves priority manipulation anyway. There is some random element to it. Guts determines our ability to survive a lethal hit if our HP is above 1. And if we get a Guts save, we will go down to 1 HP instead of dying. Which can be pretty handy. But more importantly, it also deals very heavily in our ability to deal and receive critical hits, if I recall correctly. Like, an enemy with high guts will have a very strong chance of dealing a crit to us, so I'm pretty sure that our ability to deal critical hits is based on that. I kind of forget what luck does. I know it manipulates the, how do I want to word this? Give me just a second here. Okay, so there's an item called the Lucky Sandwich, which is a health recovering item, and basically the amount of health you recover is determined at least partially by how much luck you have. So if our luck is higher, we can eat those for more health. And it probably does some other things that I don't remember, but that is the one thing that I do remember, because for some reason my brain sticks on the weird minutia. And there is not a ton of reason to buy Lucky Sandwiches most of the time. They tend to be a little overcosted compared to how much health they give you. And lastly, we have Vitality and IQ, which are primarily used for determining how much hit points and psychic points you will gain when you gain a level. If you gain Vitality during a level, you will gain more hit points. If you gain IQ, you'll gain more psychic points. There's one character who cannot use psychic abilities, who uses IQ for another purpose that we will discuss when we get there. However, that will probably be in another stream, so I will likely have forgotten by then. So I say that with a bit of trepidation. And we should definitely check our inventory here. Okay, we got 2 cookies, we got our ATM card, we got a sound stone. Those are basically key items. And if you're looking at this inventory and you're thinking, wow, that looks really choked already, yes, inventory management is a bit of a puzzle in here. So in some regards, you could call it an ancestor. Oh my god, I screwed up the joke by forgetting a word. In some ways, you could consider it a predecessor to Diablo. There we go. Because that's the one thing that I remember about Diablo, aside from it having that sort of hack and slash gameplay from that orthogonal view and all that, is the fact that inventory management in Diablo could be absolute hell. Slightly ironically. I don't know if that's a thing in Diablo 3, because I didn't play that. Why don't we have a quick check of the library here? What do you got for us? Borrow only maps at this library. Sure, why not? When that isn't the only thing on the map, all the info is there except for the info that isn't there. Yes, that's very helpful. There's a very humorous bit of, well, comedy to a lot of the writing in this game. It is a lot of fun. And again, very much one of those RPGs that was really unique at the time, but everybody has been trying to ape it ever since, and they never do a good job. Oh, I get it. And yes, these NPCs will tell us... Excuse me one second. These NPCs will tell us a bunch of helpful stuff. So, it's useful to talk to them, but we'll pretty much grasp the gameplay mechanics as we go. Is there anything in these bookshelves? No. And that's a window, even though it kind of looks like a billboard with some fancy curtains on it. And by a billboard, I mean like a corkboard or a chalkboard or something. Anyway, we don't need to ask people about how to play the game. I know how to play the game. And here we are taking a look at the town map. We got a nice look at, we got a couple of places to buy food. One of them's a burger joint. One of them is not a burger joint. It's a bakery, but that's a very funky looking sprite, but I guess when it's that small. And we got a hotel. We got another type of shop. We've got a hospital. We got some other buildings that are unlabeled. We will check those out in due time. We got somebody standing in front of a truck and just stopping it by sheer power of politeness or something. It certainly isn't New York. Anyway, there's a hamburger in this garbage can, which I don't think we should eat, but you know what? If the game will let us, and it won't punish us for it too badly, then fine. Let's check out the burger shop real quick. Anything going on? Not really. Oh, I get it, yeah. And yeah, that's kind of true. Although, obviously, there's a lot of outliers because there is a very large amount of food items in this game that are all, like, general-purpose healing items. So, for example, this can of fruit juice will recover us, like, 6 HP. And I'm pretty sure that the same applies for the bag of fries. Although, maybe it's a little more. But yes, there's a lot of redundancy in this. The can of fruit juice is equivalent to the cookie in terms of power. However, there are condiment items that you can get later on in the game that can enhance certain foods if they're taken together. I don't really use them because, you know, inventory management and all that. But it's a pretty interesting system, and it helps deal with some of the redundancy. And even without it, it's just a very nice thing for flavor and world building. Because, again, this is America. Don't catch you slipping up and all that. I don't know that song very well. I don't know a lot of modern music very well, apparently. What do you got, dog? Ruffini the dog. Being possessed by the spirit of the game designer. Nice. Oh, wow, it's David Cage. And yes, this tells us about how to identify when an item that we can purchase is better than what we have, because we won't be able to see stats in the shop, which I think is just sort of an artifact of it being a very old game. And this thing right here, this is a payphone. Something which still exists in real life, apparently. I think. I'm sure there's payphones out there somewhere. Right? There's gotta be payphones out there. She's fine. Let's see what's going on here at the drugstore. This person just has a cold remedy for sale. $22. That's a pretty potent cold remedy. Must be that NyQuil. Super NyQuil, I guess. I don't know. Alright, $74. That's not quite the amount of money that we would like to have right now, so we're just going to leave that for the moment. And let's check out this fella. We got a cracked bat that we don't need. T-ball bat. This is a very good upgrade for our weapon that we will pick up at some point. A yo-yo. This is significantly less good. It has decent stats for the money, but it has a good chance of missing. So you don't want to bother with it. We got a baseball cap. We can get better than this pretty soon, so we're not even going to bother. And a cheap bracelet, which at $98 is anything but it gives us some extra defense. Oh, you hurt my feelings. You'll be fine, buddy. You'll get over it. Anyway, you saw we had $74 in the ATM as opposed to the $30 that our dad gave us at the beginning of the game. Fighting enemies does not deposit money into your inventory, it sends it to the ATM, which is pretty unique, and I like that from a flavor perspective, even if it is slightly less convenient from a gameplay perspective. But EarthBound is definitely a game that is very much about the flavor and the world building and the feel of things, as opposed to necessarily being the smoothest experience. And I actually kind of like it for that. Although, again, I think that's a thing that's been, like, overdone a little bit with a lot of games lately. Can I take over? I'm a little busy right now. Yeah. Alright, Pigpen, you're gonna have to deal with it yourself. Let's go up here, and let's talk to these kids. Hey, this dude just gives us a free Mr. Baseball cap. That is nice. And yeah, we're technically inside the one at city limits. I pressed the button a few times too many there. And And we equip the Mr. Baseball cap into our other slot, and we get 6 defense. Not bad for being completely free. That's better than the baseball cap that's in the drugstore, that's for sure. Oh, and this dude has a fedora, too. Oh, wow, that's prescient. This game is from 1994, 1995, so yeah. No, I don't, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and let us go explore around town some more. Gotta be careful of those sharks. There's apparently sharks in town. That's something. Let's go check out Town Hall. I bet we can find out some things here about the mayor or something. Ah, you're working for Mayor Emmanuel, aren't you? That's a little bit personal. Man, that just reminds me, Chicago mayors have really sucked the last few years. We thought Lori Lightfoot would be better, holy crap. I don't even live in Chicago anymore, but of course I follow it because I live within like an hour and a half driving distance, and either way, it's Chicago, and Chicago is kind of a big city. I don't know if any of you knew that. Just in case, I wanted to get that out there. Yeah, we've already talked to them, so fine. The Fresh Breeze movement, you say? That sounds like some hippie bullshit. Mayor Perkle, that's a very unfortunate name. Saw a giant ant at one time, a giant step. Oh no. Oh no, that was a joke that's on the level of things that I would say. Oh no. And yes, these NPCs will absolutely not tell us anything that useful here, Mark. However, it is the city hall, and we do have to talk to the mayor at some point in order to, well, we don't have to for the moment, but we do later. Oh, I'm sure you will. Oh, Chicago is a large... Yes! As I said, it's... Well, it is. I'm just here saying useful things a lot, I guess. I'm absolutely not saying anything useful. I don't know why anybody would watch this stream. Guy who's trying to reform the sharks? Not yet, but... Okay, so we're actually not allowed to go talk to the mayor yet. I thought we had to in order to be told to go beat up the sharks, but that is our next quest, is that we get to go fight some sharks. Unfortunately, the sharks are not actual sharks. They're just these guys. Oh, hello there, Brysolf, sending me a raid party of 9. That is pretty great. How did the Tecmo Super Bowl go there, Brian? I saw that you were doing that, and it's like, oh, well, shit, I'm getting ready to do this. Unfortunately, I think we ended up against the worst enemy out of all the sharks to face down right now. Yeah, we're going to try and run away from this. We are not prepared. Oh, thank goodness. Got a few wins? Well, that's pretty great. That's a good start. 6-1. Not bad, since you started at 3-1, right? As the Cleveland Browns, I believe? Had like 9 fumbles. Ooh. And despite the fact that that crow backed into us, we didn't get a back attack. That... Good job, Ness, I guess. Oh, no, not the cookie that we get back from winning this fight. Dang. Made a fella's day who needed it. That's always... I had to stop for a second. It was like, ended it? What? No, you said needed it. So, you're doing... It sounds like you're having a great time there. And hello, Retro Fanatic. How is everybody from the Bryself stream doing? And etc. And etc. Yes, I stand by that particular stringing together of what you could generously call words. Still kind of loud on my end? How close to the mic am I? Not that far. This is actually like about where I usually have it. I don't know if like maybe I'm not noticing a difference or anything. I did redo sound drivers rather recently. I updated them. I don't know if that has an effect. Ziggy Wiggles, I believe I'm reading that name correctly. You were the guy who needed it. I'm glad that you are having a better day as a result of watching Bryself stream. I generally enjoy him quite a bit. He's a good guy. Oh, here's one of those magic butterflies I mentioned earlier. It would be nice to get the rest of our psychic points back here, because anytime we're at less than full when it comes to MP or similar ideas, I always feel a little bit about it. And yeah. We are not really in a position to go deal with the sharks just yet, though, even with the cheap bracelet. We should go out of town and go see if we can go fight a couple more dogs. I'm not, like, speedrun caliber, otherwise I probably would try to take on the sharks, but yeah. No, I haven't beaten Frank yet. That comes in after I get into the arcade, of course, because you can see the Frankenstein... You can see the Frankenstein in the back of the arcade if I get over there. Gotta go. I will check out that Tecmo Super Bowl highlight. Absolutely, Brian. You have yourself a nice evening. Yeah, no, this is not a randomized EB run. I do randomizers only on... Well, it used to be Saturday, but now it's Sunday. In local time, because... Originally, I was just throwing them in on my Casual Friday stuff, and I'm like, I'm doing enough of this Metroid Prime randomizer that I should give randomizers a separate day, and use Friday to do things like, do post-games in certain larger platforms, platformers, pardon me, or play, show off games that I've never played before, stuff like that. And if I just keep doing the Metroid Prime randomizers, I am never going to get any of that shit done. Granted, I still haven't played Hollow Knight in a while, which I need to pick back up. Honestly, I should off-screen grind for Geo in Hollow Knight, because otherwise there's going to be at least a couple of streams that are just like, oh hey, look at me farm cash in order to be able to afford these hardened charms, and who wants to sit through that? But, yes. So, not a randomized EB run. Accidentally closed the stream. That happens. EB randomizers are an interesting thing because, much like the Pokemon randomizer that we saw yesterday, the main EB randomizer that I remember having seen... Oh, there's the bakery, by the way. I'm actually going to go walk back home and rest up, and then... what's our experience looking like? We can check our status real quick on that. 4 experience for the next level. So if we head back home, we should hopefully get into enough fights that we can get that next level. We can heal up, and then we should be able to beat the sharks, I think. Or at least get through a couple of them. So, where was I with my storytelling? Oh yeah, so I decided to add the extra day because I was like, I did a lot of Metroid Prime randomizers, and I may as well separate randomizers out into their own day, so that way I don't just get distracted from the rest of my schedule. EarthBound randomizers, I have seen 2 EarthBound randomizers. One of them follows the regular flow of gameplay, but like randomizes the sprites and techniques and stuff like that. And the other one is called the Ancient Cave Randomizer, because it's based off of the concept in Lufia 2, where you basically just go through all the rooms in the game in a randomized order with, you know, all the exits randomized. And there's sort of an expected flow to those, but it's a little harder to pick up. I'm definitely going to do an EB Ancient Cave run on this channel at some point, just because they are pretty neat. As far as getting yourself those unlimited rare candies in Pokemon Crystal, I could not help you there. I don't remember like a lot of I don't remember a lot of codes and stuff for games of that era, unfortunately. And oddly enough, I've been having a lot of issues digging out Game Shark codes and stuff for the really old Pokemon games. They just don't seem to exist anymore. I mean, they're out there, I'm sure, but they're not as common of a thing as you would think. I'm sure that something like that exists, but again, wouldn't really be able to assist you in that in any useful way aside from saying, oh yeah, I know that I believe at least that exists. Alright, so here's the pizza joint. Let's talk to this fella. Want to start a fight or what? Get that Ryan Stiles voice. You guys want to fight? Oh, fuck off. This is one of the big problems with the sharks, is that they can summon help. And that, as you can guess, is a huge pain when you're getting, like, the Yes Man Jr. here, who is absolutely not doing anything of use. I don't know why that dude is called a Yes Man Jr., by the way. That is a very strange name. Hey, we found a can of fruit juice in the garbage can. Wash it off first. And yeah, that again is like pretty much what I was saying, Retro, is that a lot of old codes for a lot of old games are very hard to find. Is Yes Man is well, I guess that is probably the case, Mark. We never find a Yes Man Senior though. That's, well, maybe for the better, because usually the Yes Man Juniors kick my ass. Anyway, we managed to rob that dude of his burger. Unfortunately, I don't know who your buddy is, buddy, so... Wow, these, we're getting very good RNG in terms of the sharks just doing useless things and wasting their turns and missing. And giving us the freebies. What do you got, buddy? Let me go see Frank, then yes. Come back after we finish EarthBound. But we gotta fight Frank in order to finish EarthBound. Dang it! Alright guys, I guess we have to go talk to everybody here in order to get a skip. Oh wow, I forgot that you fight this guy. Also, yes, this nerd called us Spanky. I can't believe this motherfucker has the gall to insult us while wearing suspenders and being on a skateboard. What a combo. Are you... Are you alright, buddy? Yeah, 14 max HP. We got a point of vitality in there. That was pretty good. Also, real quick, let's get a look at these arcade games. We've got, like, this is definitely Donkey Kong. This is definitely, like, a Space Invaders kind of thing. Yeah, no, we're not having a whole lot of luck on Oh Baby yet, but we may very well in the future. I'm not quite sure what this one is supposed to be over here on the right. And the pinball tables, well, they don't really give you enough detail to really tell, so I'm just going to assume that it's Wife of Pinbot or whatever that was called. Anyway, I guess we gotta tell this guy we don't want to become a member, because otherwise I don't actually know a skip to go fight Frank without having not beaten EarthBound. Except to offend this dude. Don't be such a snob, apparently. The beeps are driving you. Well, at the very least, that part will be... If it's the beeps and the music, that'll be over soon, because we're going outside and we only have to walk back through here one more time. There's... The music in this game is very weird, to say the least. And I would 100% imagine this to be sort of a thing that a lot of people have a lot of difficulty taking. I point this out basically as a way of saying don't feel bad, I guess. If you have to lower the volume or something. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna eat our cheaper healing items here. And we're gonna talk to Frank. What a look this dude has going on. It's revealed in the very end of the game, and this is a very minor spoiler that's, like, super unimportant, that Frank is apparently not even old enough to drink. So... like, imagine being... what, 17 or something, and deciding that you want to look like this? Okay. Oh, dang it, dang it, dang it. We did not get to go fast enough. So... this is one of the more well-known things about this game. Not specifically the difficulty, although, yes, this game will absolutely whoop you if you let it. But more to the point, the bit where you have that sort of rolling HP meter, and if you mash buttons fast enough, it will allow you to act before you die if you take mortal damage during a fight. I have no idea what these links are, so I'm going to hover over them real quick and see if it wishes to load. That might be a big if, though. Yeah, so my tooltips are not showing for those. I'll have to look at those later. Well, yeah, I can tell they're screenshots because I can recognize that part of the URL from the Steam user images and everything. It was more to the point of seeing what they were screenshots of if I could get any sort of detail from previews. So, yes, that's, as regards that rolling HP meter thing, you might think, oh, I should always turn the message speed up because that will make things a little easier for me. But that is not the case. I actually learned recently, because I never really paid it much mind. Oh boy, we're getting in a 2-on-1 here. You're having a lot of trouble with that shift key, aren't you, buddy? I learned very recently that if you reduce the message speed, it also reduces the speed of the rolling HP meter. I assume that it's pretty much equal to I assume that it's basically at a point, as it is to say, that it won't really give you an advantage to slow it down that much. But maybe if you're really good or really bad at the game, depending on the case, it might help you. Don't necessarily take my word for it, though. Alright, are we ready to... I think ready is a bit of a strong word, but let's fight this dude again. I think if we just get a little better luck here. Alright, if you can just do more of the come out... Ouch! Ooh! Never mind! Okay, you wanna fight dirty, buddy? You wanna throw crits at us? Ouch! So yes, even though we're actually getting like 2 bosses in a row here, as you'll see in just a second, as we fight the Frankenstein Mark II here. Frank is arguably the harder boss of the two, because the Frankenstein always behaves in a very specific order of generating a puff of steam and then trying to use a bigger attack. So we can prepare for that. Well, saying that, I don't know how well that's actually working. Okay, it is working, so... Yeah, we do want to guard basically every turn after that. This is going to eat into our DPS a little bit, but we're not really speedrunning this, as you can tell. Alright, buddy, can you, like, calm the fuck down with that? And while this fight will absolutely eat into your resources pretty hard... fuck. Yeah, so... As I said, this fight will eat into your resources pretty hard. I was banking on taking a weaker hit than that. But the pattern is very simple compared to Frank, who is just, do whatever he feels like. We're gonna take a couple of deaths along the way, needless to say. EarthBound is not what you would call an easy RPG. Like, we had a pretty rough time when we did Pokemon yesterday because of it being a randomizer, but most Pokemon games are incredibly simple. This game is incredibly not. However, we do have the power of that on our side. Under certain circumstances, usually when we are strong enough to one-hit kill an enemy, we get an instant win when we start an encounter if they are by themselves. So we're able to basically skip over fights with those snakes, which is very nice. And we don't have a whole ton for the crow to steal, so we can fight the crow for a free cookie. If only I hadn't pecked at my eyes, I would be at full health, but... I feel like the 1 HP is not going to save me against Frank. Although that said, we did take a amount of damage equal to our health at the very end of the Frankenstein Mark II fight, so that, you know, maybe I'm underselling that as a thing. As it goes, the only hit point that really matters is the last one, and sometimes you need to extend things a little bit to make sure that that last one shows up later. Alright, are there any more sharks out here? What is our experience looking like, actually? Status. We need 24 experience for the next level, so we definitely want to try and fight a couple of sharks if we can find them. I'd prefer to go one-on-one, but if the game doesn't want me to do that, well, I suppose I'll deal. The skate punks who definitely now feel like the most dangerous out of the lot. Earlier I was like, oh, it's Yes Man Juniors. No, nope, 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 nope. That's not the case. And yeah, we gained like nothing out of that level. Well, okay, fuck you too, game. The game really doesn't want us to succeed, apparently. It's a couple of levels from now, and that would definitely trivialize this fight. Or it would trivialize one of these fights, rather, because we would really only have enough PP to do that. Oh, are we just gonna skip over the Frank fight? Well, I actually did not know that, so that's neat. And I'm sure that somebody here is going to be judging me for being like, oh, hey, you have a username that refers to this game and you don't know everything about it. Well, listen. Sometimes things just don't come up, right? I don't think I can mash out at 22 HP. %% of EarthBound. You have a point there. Dang it, we missed. I'm just immediately reminded of that article from Hard Drive where it's the huge EarthBound fan really excited to play it for the first time thing. Because honestly, that's kinda not wrong. And if it weren't for emulation, SMD Nintendo, I don't give a shit. You can complain all you want. I'm going to, you know, be in favor of this if you're going to make it such a pain in the ass to play your old games. If it weren't for emulation, the price point on cartridges is absolutely ludicrous. So I don't necessarily blame people for that either. And then, of course, there was the whole fiasco that was the SNES Mini. Or SNES Classic, rather. This guy's telling us plot, and I'm skipping over it instead of talking about it because I'm too busy making fun of Nintendo for their very, very bad ability at making their games available, which is still a thing. I can't believe that people have been slamming them about this for literally over a decade at this point, and they've just been getting worse. Anyway, we have to go talk to the mayor in order to get the key to the shack in order to go into the thing. In order to go into Giant Step. But first, we can get a free heal from Frank. And hey, who's gonna turn that down? So, as a result of emulation and all of this, EarthBound has had this massive popularity that the sales are just not commensurate to, because it was, at the time, very expensive, not easy to get hold of, and it came with the game guide with it too, which is probably a good idea, because this game is often not exactly very straightforward, but it also made the game even more expensive. Plus, there was that whole ad campaign, which basically amounted to whoever worked in the advertising department of Nintendo being like, hey, fuck this game, and borderline sabotaging it. At least in the States. Alright, so here's Mayor B.H. Perkle. Kick their butts, bit their heads off. You're just making things. Spit in their eyes. What? Made them wet their pants. This guy's a little over the top. Forced them to promise not to make any more We didn't do any of that even. Come on. We literally just beat up some dude in a backyard. Sure. I don't get to talk to people properly, so, like, I can't tell anybody about the fact that you're a corrupt butthole, which I assume is what BH stands for. Oh, there's something about this guy that's a little bit off, but, you know, again, I refer back to my joke about Mayor Rahm Emanuel, or former Mayor Rahm Emanuel, rather, because he is no longer the mayor of Chicago, and rightly so. Although also, as I said, his replacement is not exactly great, but, you know, we'll talk about that some other time. You know, I keep saying that I want to be a little less political on stream, and then I come in here like, oh yeah, this mayor is a piece of shit. Real great. Alright, door's locked. So in order to fix that, we go into our menu. We use the key of the shack on the shack door, and it opens. And this isn't much of a shack. Is there anything even in this? No, this bookshelf is apparently empty. This bed has definitely seen some better days. It's got a gigantic steel spring coming out of it. But apparently no problem here, so I guess Ness is okay with just sleeping on anything. What a weird kid. Let's go in here. Oh boy, that just reminded me of, well, South Park licensed games in general. And their existence. They sure did exist in the 90s. Alright, so here's our first enemy that we get in this area called the Black Antoid. It's a little ant with weird little dealy bopper antenna, and it can call for help. That's not great. I find these guys, despite the amount of damage they deal, to be less of a pain than the sharks are when you first encounter them. But they're usually a lot better at actually succeeding in calling for help. So that can be quite problematic. There is another really tiny enemy that we can encounter around here that we would rather fight than these. And we get a skip sandwich. This is a really cool item that I'm just going to sort of waste here to show off. See how we're moving faster? Yeah, that's the effect of the skip sandwich, is that you get about 10 seconds of increased movement speed. So this should be attack slugs. Yeah, these things are very easy. You see, they go down without much of a fight. They do a lot less damage to us than the ants. We're gonna get hit 3 times, and it's gonna hurt less than 1 hit from the ants. They aren't good at accuracy. They start off the battle with a status effect called Unable to Concentrate, which is basically the equivalent to silence. So their hypnosis doesn't work worth a damn. And that's a good thing, because it looks like our roll on that 30 damage hit was a little bit high. And while we're getting chiseled down pretty significantly here, we should be able to get away with this, because these attack slugs don't have enough guts to crit us. Unlike that mouse that we saw down there earlier on. That little rat will absolutely fuck you up. Which means that, no doubt about it, I'm going to have to show off fighting one of those. That way I can get murked by something punching well above its weight class. But we'll get to that when the time comes. For the time being, we're going to beat up these attack slugs some more. Either that, or can I at least get bombs? I just use default names for everything in this run through. Because I was just like, I feel like just using the default names. Alright, well that's not so great if they're able to concentrate. I think they actually have enough PP to be able to cast Hypnosis, but we'll see that if it comes up, I guess. And I'm going to actually walk out for a second because we should have enough cash by now to purchase the T-ball bat. Yeah, I mean, there's pun options. I could go the other direction and name it PSI Wave and have it be my least favorite thing. So that way, instead of... Because, like, obviously the idea is that it's, you know, happy memories of a thing that you really like. Or I could name it Psywave and just be constantly fucking, you know, horribly mad about it. Because Psywave is just kind of the worst move in the entire Pokemon series. And I'm saying that in the face of Splash. Oh, Splash. It sure exists. Alright, let's check our money. Let's roll. Yeah, $352. We definitely have enough to grab that T-ball bat. Well, I mean, Splash now, oddly enough, does have its uses. If you equip the correct Z crystal with it, which means that it no longer has its uses in Sword and Shield because those were removed. Actually, I think that the Z crystals are still in Sword and Shield in the data, but they just cannot be used or obtained. This little attack boost should help us out quite a bit. The numbers don't look very big, but they will go a long way. Unfortunately, it's not going to help us get crits, so we're not going to get as many, we're not going to quite get the home run swings going here, but, we'll see what we can do. Anyway, here is the aforementioned rat, a rowdy mouse. We're only taking 1 damage for now, which is fine, but we're gonna fight another one, so maybe we'll be able to see the gimmick without me having to be like, well, here it is in words, and, you know, like the complete loser there. Like, hey, yeah, let me just tell you about it instead of being able to show it off. And yes, these enemies have... That biting attack is ridiculously feast or famine. It's you're taking 1 damage or you're taking a big fat crit. The crow wants nothing to do with us, which is fine because we will make that crow explode into a burst of feathers if we hit it. In fact, at this point, we should be able to one-shot crows if they are... and in this case, one-shot specifically meaning more the type of one-shot that you get from just killing them instantly instead of doing the fight. If we walk into them in the overworld, even without sneaking up on them. Which, I haven't really had a chance, actually, to show off the thing with, facing determining how a fight goes. Seen videos of birds exploding in baseball games. Well, I've heard about it. I've never actually personally seen it, and that wasn't even specifically what I was referring to, oddly enough. Okay, so in that case, I was literally just mashing the up button there in order to try and take short steps to escape from that enemy just because I didn't want to fight it. I'd rather fight attack slugs if we can find some more of those. Unfortunately, the game just seems to make me want to fight rowdy mice all day, so... You know what? Let's do it. Oh, Rowdy Roddy here. He died several years ago. Like, wow, how long ago did Rowdy Roddy Piper die? Has it been like 10 years? It hasn't been 10 years since Rowdy Roddy Piper died. It's been a while, that's for sure. And there we go, there's an Oh Baby, and we get 3 points of luck. And we got our big damaging psychic move here. Let's take a quick look at it. We go into status, A button for Psi info, offense. Psi, Rockin', Alpha, costs 10 PP to use. Deals about 50 points of damage. That's underselling it a little bit. It usually hits a little harder than that. But even so, it's still pretty expensive, which is a bit of an issue because, as I've mentioned before, psychic points are kind of hard to come by. Excuse me. There aren't a lot of recovery options, rather, is what I'm trying to say. So it is pretty gross early on to be casting that too much, because we'll just run out of PP real fast and be stuck trying to remember what places we can force respawn magic butterflies at. Right, these will be attack selects because there's 4 of them. And we're not in anti-piracy mode. That's one of the other rather famous things about EarthBound that I never got around to mentioning, is the anti-piracy mode for this game. If the game detects for some reason that your cartridge is not legitimate, i.e. like it fails a checksum pass or something like that, I forget exactly what it is, you will get all kinds of resistance to you beating the game until you get to the very end, and the game is just like, nope, you've had enough, and deletes your save file and freezes before the final boss. Of course, modern day ROMs are set up to not deal with that, because they don't have the bad checksum or whatever it is. However, there are codes out there that you can use to re-enable that if you really want to do that to yourself. And you can get a lot of very unusual spawns in certain locations. Including, you can get things like, you can get mad ducks to spawn in Saturn Valley. Which does happen on very rare occasions in the regular game. But it is very, very rare. And usually they will spawn in an area that is not within the areas that you can walk around in. Meanwhile, if you have anti-piracy, if you fail the anti-piracy check, the game will probably put them in places where you can fight them just in the middle of town. And it is very unusual. And also, of course, it sucks that you can't beat the game if that's triggered, but you knew that. Of course, imagine back in the 90s if you didn't know about this. And you accidentally bought a pirated cart, secondhand or something. And the same applies to, there was apparently a version of the Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green games where if it also failed an anti-piracy check, when you went to give the guy the SSN ticket, it would throw up a message that says, by the way, if you like this game, buy it or die. which again would probably, you know, freak out a kid a little bit if they happened to end up with a pirate cart. Like, but I did buy the game. However, I also feel like I've heard recently that that's a hoax. So I don't, you know, take that with a bit of a grain of salt that it might not be real. But if it is, wow, that's slightly over the top. I have never personally ran into it, but I should also note that most emulators in general that are modern, and modern is basically like past ZSNES X.XX version, tend to be good about not triggering anti-piracy shit. The only game that I've ever run into failing an anti-piracy check was Pokemon Black and White, when I was playing it with a translation patch before it came out in English. Yeah, see, now the rowdy mice are doing their thing. They're really showing off their gimmick. And yeah, Mark, the thing is that I thought I had heard that like a couple of months ago when there were a lot of other like fake error screens going around just in general. So yeah, that's why I remembered it. And take a look at this 6-pack of slugs. We're actually going to just burst all of these out of existence. And wow, that is some visuals. I feel that perhaps this is the game that I've played on this channel that is the most warranting of a seizure warning, because there are some things in this that come on a little strong. They were visually toned down, of course, in the virtual console versions that were made available for the new 3DS and the Wii U. I think the Wii U. I'm pretty sure it's not available on Switch Online yet, which is kind of a shame that Nintendo is putting those out at such a trickle. Like, how hard can it be to... Excuse. How hard can it be, really, to put as many of the games out that they already should have prepped for those consoles? And yeah, here we go. The Magic Butterfly gave us back 20 PP. What's our max is 30? I'd like to get to max here. Battery in the Pro Controller lasted the whole game. Wow, that's pretty good. Although, until, like, fairly recent years, I feel that Nintendo battery life has actually generally been pretty good. So we're gonna maw on some cookies real quick in order to get our health not quite maxed, but a little closer, because we want that hamburger. That's a pretty big heal for the moment. And we managed to single out that attack slug, so we got the free kill. That's nice. Oh, I see that these are not moving at all. They're just very, very out of it. Well, I'll take some free experience. I'm never gonna argue with that. Unfortunately, no bombs, but the chances on bomb drops from attack slugs are, I think, 1 in 256. So, you know, whatever. Yeah, the only time that I can think of a... Oh, crud. So yeah, this is... Let's just say that I'm showing this off on purpose with the facing thing. That if you face away from an enemy when it attacks you the enemy will get a first strike on you, but... One second. Ooh. Getting a little dry in the throat area. I should probably have my big glass of water around here. If you attack an enemy from behind, of course, you will gain that first turn advantage. And it makes the insta-kills a lot easier in those cases. So yeah, Nintendo stuff usually has pretty good battery life. I feel like the Switch is the first thing that I've messed around with that has been substandard. No, I don't have any of that up here today. Again, I really should have remembered to bring up a big glass of water. Maybe I'll go grab one after I fight the boss of this area, who is the giant ant that we've heard mentioned earlier. Can we get these some more free experience? Yes. That's some free experience. And those are cookies. Wait, is it not the attack slugs that drop those then? Mantis ant. That would be a very strange thing, but it is instead me getting back attacked from like just inside of that arc. Well, crud. At least it's using life up instead of an actual attack. If only I could hit. There we go. I thought I was safe, but I was not. Hey, some free experience. Alright, so here, this big shiny thing, this is where we're gonna fight the boss. But first, let's eat these cookies. Because then we don't have to waste turns in battle doing that. The first Your Sanctuary location. It's yours now! If we dare, we'll be fine. What do we got going on here? Titanic Ant. And buddies. So in the back here, we've got two black Antoids. These are actually a little different, I believe, from the regular one, or they have unique AI by virtue of being in this fight, where they will pretty much just try to heal the Titanic Ant. Or themselves. So we want to eliminate them as fast as possible. And that is a good reason to drop a quick Psyrock in there. And not unlike Frankenstein, this boss does a lot of damage. In fact, you can see that we are absolutely playing with fire in terms of please don't kill me. Also, Titanic Ant uses Psi Magnet, which can steal our PP. And then it uses it for defense down. So, a pretty scary boss sometimes, but we had enough damage on the board that we were fine. Although, again, really playing with fire there at the end, and yet we took like one attack after we went to single-digit HP. Then we get this weird tone, and we go walk up to the big foot-shaped hole. Get a little bit of sound. And we see a cute puppy. You know, I do that a lot too, but... Also, we record the melody of Giant Step. Let's go ahead and examine our soundstone and see what happened here. We get the same song back, but in a slightly different tone. We'll get to hear more of that later on once we get through more areas. Shoe size 212. Yeah, pretty much, eh? Also, you'll notice that the enemies are running from us now. And that lets us get some easy green swirls here. And some easy experience as we walk out the door. Might even get a couple of cookies as we go, which will be fine, because then I can, you know, use those to heal. Although, do note that once you enter the set of frames where... Oh, I don't need to do that. That's silly. Once you enter the swirling animation, enemies will stop automatically running from you and will try to get into a fight with you. And yeah, you can see, I forgot that thing where you get fully healed after you hit a sanctuary location. And now let's do a quick life up here, and that was a big crit. Uh-oh, there's a police officer there. Let's see if we can jump off this cliff. Nope. That's gonna be a pain. But also, I'll be back in just a second. Alright folks, I am back. I hope my cursor wasn't in the window the whole time. That would be a little bit embarrassing looking, although it's not like I've made it a secret that I'm using an emulator. So, let us climb the rest of the way back down Giant Step. Get us some more experience. That's okay. Again, you clearly didn't miss much because I was getting up to get my big glass of water. Did I not check this room? No, I've been in here before. There hasn't been a ton on YouTube that I've been watching lately. It's not just, well, reruns, basically. One of the very few YouTubers that I follow who does video game stuff anymore was taking a bit of a break, but also for like a week or so, he does Let's Play type of content. However, he also lives in Texas, so I'm pretty sure that that's a little understandable right now. As I mentioned last time, they're not having a great time of it right now. I should watch through Robot Wars. I'll try to remember to do that. I have a memory that's not always great. Yeah, he said he was pretty much fine. He had only a few minor issues, which, you know, lucky him. Still. Probably not the kind of weather he's used to. If nothing else, because it was cold as fuck down there. And I have a lot of other friends besides that who also live, well, basically in the middle of the United States and south of where I live, so they're not having a particularly great time either. Well, yeah, the thing is that it's cold as hell for them. And it's not particularly a balmy day for me over here in Illinois either. I wouldn't be going down there without shorts on. But for Texas, ooh. Oh, hey, it's a cop. Couldn't you read it? No. What a rebellious kid. Come to the Winnett police station later. Boy, Ness, it's a good thing you're white, otherwise you would be so fucking dead right now. Again, I shouldn't be out here making all these jokes. I'm sure it's gonna chase people off for me to come in here and keep making this kind of thing, but also, like, it just lends itself to it a little too well. I mean, we're literally getting into a mini arc about police violence, so, like, what am I supposed to do? Just ignore the obvious joke? I've never been able to do that. Also, that said, I do like how the trucks just stop as soon as they touch you. I've never seen brakes that good. 2, I don't think I've ever seen a trucker that nice. 3, God knows how they see you, or is it Ness, like, only really average height for a 12-year-old? Well, yeah, absolutely they should. Alright, what do we got going on in the police station here? Parking meter cop, that's a little specific. What do you got, buddy? Steamed like a lobster, aren't you? Can I say no again? And furthermore, blah, 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 blah. It's usually those tax evaders who blah, 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 blah. We don't enjoy blocking off the roads, you know. Bullshit! And I can say that on the basis of somebody that we didn't talk to, so oops. 3, that's not what Melee taught us. You have a good point there as well, Mark. That said, I do like all of the blah 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 as this chucklehead just gives us the runaround here with all this. Kids like you should be playing Nintendo games. Well, I've got some bad news, buddy. Yes. Okay. As this guy drags us to the back room for interrogation, basically. Like, oh, this kid wants to go to the next town over. Winnett isn't good enough for Ness. See if you can get past 5 of my best men. At least it's not all at once. But here we go. We got the police trying to beat the living shit out of a literal preteen. Thankfully, they are pretty fragile. And they only attack us with karate chops as opposed to, like, what they use in real life. Stronger than any superhero? Well, then pencil me in for being fucking God, because I just whooped one of your guys in 2 hits. Uh-oh. Ouch. Ooh! Double ouch. I forgot they can crit us. Fat boy. Ness isn't that fat. As far as we can tell, anyway. Alright, so I'm going to life up here. Just that way we're not taking any risks. Oh, nice. Nice and slick. Next time I'll take you out with my nuclear suplex attack. You're what now? I'm gonna take you apart right here, right now, baby. Which always sounds really weird that, like, there's so many characters that just call you baby, and I assume that that's supposed to sound like basically not like flirting, we'll put it that way. It definitely does not sound intimidating. We'll be very, very straightforward about it. It is not an intimidating phrase. Just think about Yoshi's Island and Kamek calling you Yoshi baby and cute little Yoshi and all that. Like, is Kamek trying to emasculate us or something? I don't get it. No, I didn't get that reference. I admit there's a lot that I don't get. There's been a meme going around on one of the social media sites that I use that has been, like, making a 5x5 anime bingo card. And I haven't done it by virtue of I actually have not watched that I haven't actually watched that much anime, and what I have watched is actually mostly either garbage, or Gintama, or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Or Gundam and Legend of Galactic Heroes, I guess. Oh, it's a reference to it? Okay, gotcha. My understanding of it really only goes as far as Killer Clown, and we all float down here, so yeah. Baki the Grappler. I have never heard of that before. I don't think, anyway. So here we go. Captain Strong is actually going to live up to his name, although he's going to spend a lot of his time blocking, so we're not going to see any of it. Captain Strong will occasionally bust out an attack called the Submission Hold, which hurts like hell. It's not quite a one-hit kill, but it's more than the crushing chops we faced earlier, that's for sure. Ah, okay, gotcha. So in that case, I suspect even then, if I have heard of it, it's the sequel. Eh, well, that was nice and simple. So after we kick the crap out of the police department, we're free to go, apparently. He wants to see us again, probably to fight us with much heavier equipment. Gotcha. What you got going on here? What gang? Well, it's good to see that even prisoners have a good sense of humor in this world. Alright, there's Strong hanging out in the back. Those two again. So, before we move on, we could stop and take a heal, but I think I'm going to be mostly okay. What I am going to do is I'm going to save, however. As soon as you know what? I can use my town map. Yeah. Our town map that we're not actually going to see a ton of after this point, because I'm going to give it over to Tracy to put into storage because it takes up an inventory slot, and that is a very big problem in this game, as I have mentioned before. So first of all, we can go check the ATM and see what we're sitting at cash-wise. We should be pretty flush, all told. Yeah, $1,109. That's not too bad. We're probably going to spend a good chunk of it in the next town over, but for now, we also want to go ahead and check out this phone. Talk to Dad. He's going to tell us how much money we got. And tell us how much experience we need to get to the next level. Which is nice, but we can look that up anyway. And more importantly, we're going to save. This is the big thing to keep in mind, is that there's a payphone in the drugstore, but there's a regular free phone at the hotel desk in Winnett. And this applies in quite a few other places too. Try to avoid... I know it's only $1 for the payphone, but you know what? You may as well try to avoid it anyway, because why the heck not? And those will be Antoids running away from us. Oh, he's got a lot of hay to hit, you know? Alright, so this dude is going to tell us about exit mice. We'll find out in a second. Alright, so the exit mouse is a very useful item to have. It lets us... It's an escape rope, basically. And we can come back and we can get them for free. Unfortunately, that does also have its issues of there only being a few places where you can get them. So, if you get the exit mouse here, and you're in the middle of bumfuck nowhere and you have to leave a dungeon using it, you probably have to come back here to get another exit mouse. There are a very small number of places where there are other exit mice you can pick up, but you can only carry a maximum of 1 in your inventory at any given time. And those other locations, I can only think of 2 off the top of my head. And both of them are in dungeons, which at the very least kind of makes sense. Oh shit. Well, here's something that's a little bit well known. We're feeling funky. We basically have a permanent confusion, and it has an overworld effect that can be pretty frustrating to deal with, but we're going to have to for a little while. So you'll see I've got this mushroom on my head. Enemies are just out in force today. Let's see if we can despawn these real quick. I don't want to deal with these mushrooms more. We're walking normal for now. I really wish I had an input display type of program going here to really show this off. If it'll ever kick in. Admittedly seems to be a big if right now. Rather not deal with any more enemies while I'm stuck like this. Okay, there we go. So, basically your controls on the D-pad anyway will rotate 90 degrees every certain number of time. And you can see I'm having a bit of trouble manipulating this anyway, because I now have my controller turned 90 degrees in order to best deal with this. Unfortunately, best is a bit of a stretch. Alright, now we flip it over. And there should be a dude at the hospital who will actually buy the mushroom off of our head. Is it you? You're the faith healer, right, buddy? Yeah, okay. Has some illness that cannot be treated at the hospital. He's not specifically a faith healer, pardon me. And I sell him the mushroom that grows on top of my head? Yeah, sure. $50 per mushroom, that's fine. $50 is not bad. Yes, that was indeed Mr. T in the park. That is correct. I didn't even point that out because I was busy dealing with the mushroom thing. We could technically use that as a way to farm up some extra cash, but it is generally more trouble than it is worth. Also, speaking of celebrity cameos, although the colors are changed, I just noticed, and I completely forgot about it, look at that poster. That Blues Brother has not had his suit color changed. And yes, the Runaway Five are basically just the Blues Brothers. And yeah, there's Mr. T. For those of you who don't know who the Blues Brothers are, the Blues Brothers was kind of a recurring sketch, really, on Saturday Night Live during the late 70s and early 80s, played by John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd as, like, two blues musicians in these nice black and white suits, sunglasses. You've probably seen the movie The Blues Brothers. It came from Saturday Night Live, and they were actually a legitimate musical act. I have a CD copy of one of their albums from before the Blues Brothers movie came out. They were actually very talented. Of course, helped along by the fact that John Belushi is actually kind of not a good vocalist in some regards. Like, he's not about to do any Freddie Mercury type of shit, but he has a voice that is really just right for singing the blues in that regard. You know, he's got a bit of clarity. He sounds a little bit on the having a not so great time side of things. And also, of course, the other thing is that the Blues Brothers, it wasn't just Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. They were, of course, backed up by quite a few quite legitimate, very good blues musicians, like Steve Cropper. I think Donald Duck Dunn played with them a couple of times. Tom Bones Malone. These aren't really people that I think a lot of people are going to know off the top of their head, but definitely a lot of talented musicians offered their skill to this particular act that was halfway between a comedy act and being an actual musical group. The movie is pretty good. If you have not seen the movie The Blues Brothers, I would 100% recommend it. There was a sequel made in like 2000 called Blues Brothers 2000, which is like 20 years after John Belushi died. Actually, maybe less than that, but it's not as good, basically. John Belushi definitely added quite a bit to the quality there. We're having a look at the shop real quick to see if there's anything of any real importance here to pick up, aside from insults, apparently. I mean, I guess we could buy some food at the bakery or even the burger joint, but I think we're good on those fronts for the moment. I barely use the healing items that I do have. I don't find the slingshot to be very good because it has accuracy issues, and as is often going to be the case, I will take something that is guaranteed to hit over something that might miss. Let's take our $200. So, like in a Pokemon game, I would obviously prefer to use Thunderbolt over Thunder or Flamethrower over Fire Blast or anything like that. Yeah, all of the ranged weaponry, including I think all of Jeff's gear, which, oops, spoiling a character that we named at the beginning of the game. I think all of that even has a chance to miss. But admittedly, it has been a while since that's come up. I haven't played this game in a shocking amount of time, considering, again, naming my channel and stuff after it. And that cranky old lady was worth a lot of experience points. Just fighting a Karen who has turned blue for some reason. Okay, so I grabbed the 200 bucks because we gotta go visit the Apple Kid. We can visit Orange Kid and give him 200 bucks as well, but it doesn't really do anything for us. Yeah, apparently not. Alright. What do you got for us, Apple Kid? Well, you don't really have much of a bath in here, so I don't know what I expect, and you do have the garbage can still inside of the place, so yeah, I can feed you, buddy. How would you like a cold remedy? You'll just take that without question. That makes things a little easier. 200 bucks? Yep, I told you, 200 bucks. Alright, so this mouse now moves to block the door. This is a reference, very strangely, to a Japanese novel, and that's a very strange thing to put in a game that is designed to have this level of Western sensibility, but of course it was vaguely just directly translated when Marcus Lindblom and all the rest of them were doing work on this game. Because there's not much else you can do with it. It would be a sort of thing that really wouldn't be picked up on over here. Alright, so we got us a gift. That gift is a receiver phone. It's not a particularly important gift, aside from the fact that it lets us receive calls, and it chokes our inventory even harder. Deal with this dog real quick. Oh, are we not going to just make the dog combust immediately? Huh, that's a shock. And we only get 4 experience. Bread roll. I will abandon the bread roll. Because that's not as good as the other healing items I have. In some regards, this part of the game is honestly one of the most frustrating because of... Oh, I forgot about there being a photographer point here, who's going to take a picture of us in front of this small town cycle shop. What a place for a picture. Welcome to the photographer in EarthBound. You get your picture taken in some very strange places. Unfortunately, they don't put one in front of the final boss, which would actually be hilarious, but here we are. Alright, so we're gonna call our mom. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So, this is what we wanted, is we wanted to be able to contact Tracy, who's working part-time for S Cargo Express. And I would like her to send over someone to pick up my items real quick. And so we come out here, we get to a slightly more open area. Yeah, usually they tell you about a delivery charge like that before you come out, but maybe that's just me. Alright, you go ahead and take the town map, because we're not going to use that too much. I did want to show it off, because I kind of like it. I don't like that it takes up a precious inventory slot, but again, that's just this game for you. It's a little bit mean about stuff like that. but I don't necessarily dislike the idea, I guess. Alright, so we can get into some encounters with wild cops. Wild cops, yes, that's how I wanted to express that. But we can get into randomly spawning cop fights, and they are the same as the cops that we fought in the one at PD. And they take 2 hits, basically. They don't even have 100 HP, but they do still have that crushing chop, so they can mess you up. What do you got for us, kid? Paula isn't here. Okay. She disappeared, nobody knows why. Let's ask around inside, because Paula was one of our named party members at the very beginning of the game. Alright, you gonna go eat? Well, alright. I'll possibly see you later. That doesn't tell me a lot about Paula. She's gone somewhere. I beg your pardon. Nice one, buddy. Paula's mother. Shouldn't worry about her. She has a guardian angel. How long will I be streaming? At least another hour, because I started very late today. Just because some technical difficulties, little other tiny things show up. I'm not from a TV station. Only meet with a boy named Ness. That's us. Paula's dream. Save the world. Oh, do you have her cell phone number? I was hoping that he would tell us a little more information, but no. We're not really getting very far with that, so... Ooh, phone call. Been out there for a long time now. Oh yeah, every like 2 hours or so, the game will do this and you have to answer no. Again, sort of a thing to be like, hey, do shorter sessions of gaming, which, you know, maybe I should, but also... Yeah, we can't go on to Threed for the moment, so we have to go forward, I guess. Got some sort of bad fever. Well, I don't think that will necessarily make you believe in a religion, but... UFOs in the Peaceful Rest Valley. Oh boy, that's interesting. That's very strange. Peaceful Rest Valley, or as it was known in Japan, Grateful Dead Valley. But they changed that because they didn't want to run afoul of copyright. And to be honest, I feel like this was not too far off from the time when Jerry Garcia died, I don't think. So that might have been a little bit of a sore spot for some of the Deadheads, and I don't think that all of them would necessarily appreciate the potential connotations of having the lead up to a cult HQ be referring to, being referred to as the Grateful Dead Valley, because, you know, it might arguably be seen as them referring to the Happy cult as being sort of like Deadheads. I'm not saying that that was a reason why it was changed, because I'm quite certain that it was not. That, like, nobody thought of that. But, you know, I'm saying I've heard of worse lines of reasoning from random people, basically. But hey, we didn't even go back all the way to the hotel, which is nice, because we found that butterfly, and that is enough psychic points for the moment. I wanted to heal without necessarily mowing down on those hamburgers needlessly. to just conserve those for when it becomes more of an issue, which it may not be so much of an issue. I may be at a good level now, really, to deal with a lot of things. We'll see how this hashes out for a little bit. And here we go. We fight the Mobile Sprout. This can be a very annoying type of enemy for a lot of reasons. However, right now we're not seeing any of them. But there we go. There's reason number one. It can heal itself. But also, I believe the Mobile Sprouts can spread seeds, which are basically the equivalent of calling for help from more Mobile Sprouts. And they can cast Magnet on you, stealing your PP. So that's not particularly great. What do you got, kid? Hunting for mushrooms, eh? Well, we haven't been hit by a mushroom attack here, so yeah. Well, there's one of those UFOs, I think. A little UFO. Ow! That noise. Shot a beam that causes nighttime stuffiness. This thing just gave us a cold. We just got sneezed on. He slimed me. Those red flashes you are seeing on the screen, by the way, that is not a glitch. That is us taking damage from the cold. Let's take a look at this thing. For some weird reason, a pencil-shaped iron statue is blocking the path. Huh. Well, I guess we'll just have to go back. Which I said well before I turned around because I obviously know how this part plays out. You don't even have to go up to the big steel pencil. You can just scroll it on screen and then turn around, and it will still count. For anyone out there who's considering speedrunning this, I guess. Which, if you are, don't. Every category is dead. I keep getting what I deserve in that regard, at least. Heal. I should use, speaking of healing, I should use Psi Healing, which will purge us of this cold. This cold that apparently we're snotting so bad that it's getting in our eyes because we can't hit anything. God, can you imagine? That would be the nastiest. Like, I know that sometimes you get that little bit of crust around your eyes and you hear people call it eye boogers, and it's just like, that's the worst thing you could possibly say. But that's not literal. Alright, well, good. At least the sprouts don't have enough PP to cast multiple healing. Otherwise, we'd be sitting here trapped in a loop for a bit. Unlike the old Pokemon games, which we saw some more of, well, some more of, air quotes, some of yesterday, as I mentioned. In this game, psychic points are properly drained from enemies, basically. Well, Applicate is something that he wants to show us, so that's... I guess we better go find out about that. Okay, let's deal with the mushroom. We didn't target properly there, but we got away with it. Let's get some PP back. That'll be nice. Wow, there's a lot of enemies out here. It's a little over the top. Alright, so here's the Apple Kid, who is not in for some reason, but we can raid his garbage can. A broken machine, eh? Well, that might be of some use for a certain someone else that we haven't unlocked yet. Hey, you. He's in Berglund Park looking for us. Gotcha. Oh, right, we didn't visit Berglund Park. So, this is something that I literally only learned from watching speedruns, is that there's a guy here. Let's see if we can put him on screen, basically. You see up there? That guy up there, Everdread? We can just skip fighting him even though he's like an actual boss fight. We don't have to deal with that if we don't want to. Let's talk to the Apple Kid. The pencil eraser. Eradicate all pencil-shaped figures in just 1 second. Don't use it near a shop that sells pencils. Duly noted. That sounds like it'll be of use to us. And, what's our inventory looking like? Full. Okay. Well, dang. You know what? I think we can take Everdread. Let's do this. Oh, hey, look, there's a hippie right over there. Why don't we chat later, after we've locked horns? It starts the fight, just out of nowhere. No introduction whatsoever. I kind of admire Everdread for that, but I don't admire him stealing my shit. It's bro. They didn't have the. There's a system in place for attack text and stuff to like read what gender an enemy is among some other attributes, and it just didn't work for that, I guess. All right, can we? Oh fuck. Well. I went into that with almost no HP, so I kind of got what I deserved. Let's skip the fade in. Re-arrive at the hotel. Ooh. Oh. There's some guy running through town who is Paula's dad yelling for her to get a piece of pie. Gotcha. That was very strange. That's something that I forgot about as well. However, magic butterflies, I don't forget about those. I mean, I forget some of the places they spawn. What is up with that fella's nose situation? Oh, hey, Everdread is gone. How about that? So you just want to fight us once? Oh, no, we have to actually go inside and talk to him again. You can definitely tell it's been a while since I've done this, so... yeah. Alright, just keep clobbering this dude. If you're gonna keep wasting turns like that... oh, he took a hamburger. That's almost worse than getting hit by damaging attacks. We could have won that fight earlier. Jeez. Whoops. Oh well. Gained a level. We learned Psi Paralysis Alpha. I don't know what that's good against, so I'm probably not going to use it a whole lot. He jumped off the roof and twisted his ankle. Well, that'll explain why he was animating a little funky while he was moving around in here. Ah, right. He tells us about Paula. Went off to a secret hideout in the peaceful Rest Valley. Chubby boy and a weird guy in a blue outfit have kidnapped her, though. I think Paula's some sort of human sacrifice. That's a little intense. Hardcore strange, you say? Yeah. You know, she might be gone or... They probably should have translated that a little differently, because... obviously, he's trying to say, you know, she might be dead already, but this being Nintendo in the 90s, they don't want to say die, so they said that. Instead, it could just be like, you know, they might have sacrificed her already or something. we save Paula, come back and see him. He'll advance the plot for us. Anyway, let's talk to this dude with the correct button, please. Sell fresh eggs. 12 bucks. Alright, so this fresh egg is unique among healing items in that we're not going to bother using it at any point, and it's going to change. And it's going to change into something that's going to give us a reasonable chunk of money back. Money is not really something that is a huge deal for us, but on the other hand, why not if we have the opportunity? Oh, hello, double mobile sprout. That's not really a great fight to be dealing with, but hey, I'll take an opening crit. Although I would prefer to give them. Heyo! Oh, stop that! Especially don't roll 5. Ew! What a dick. I need those psychic points for hoarding. See, we're already starting to get things going on. You hear that noise in the background? That's not part of the music. Where'd our fresh egg go? It hatched. Press help on it. The chick that just hatched, yep. If we use that, it will cure our homesickness, which is not a thing we have to worry about at this point in the game anyway, but it's still kind of neat. Wow, lost 6 PP to this fucker. Ooh, yeah, that sucks. Peaceful Rest Valley is a pain in the ass. This is not a good place to be on many levels. Alright, so we go and we get blocked by another UFO to fight. Alright, can we just get a quick crit here? Stop that. Not quick enough, but a crit is a crit. Alright, so this thing, let's go ahead and use the pencil eraser on it. And it's gone. That's pretty good. I will not complain about that. Oh, hi, Photo Man. I forgot you were over here. There is an item in this general area, I believe, so yeah. There really aren't a whole lot of, like, hidden items the way there are in Pokemon. There's a couple, but they are localized entirely in one area. And the item I was looking for is not over here. And oh shit, that tree is moving. That is a very powerful enemy called a territorial oak. We do not want to mess with that. We don't want nothing to do with that shit. I'd prefer not to think about that if I could. Let's do a quick life up. Our sound effects seem to be a little funky out here, by the way. Might just be me. Very nice. Alright, so this is a different enemy here. Oh, don't get hit in the back. With a really great song. This tune is really good, but we're not going to stop for it. That would be silly. Instead, we're going to fight the spinning robo. And you can see that it's basically just a slightly beefier version of the UFO. It's got the same laser beams and the same ability to cause us to get a cold. Oh, see, our chick has transformed again. I'll take a look at that in a second. We got a travel charm. That... I think we could have picked one of these up earlier, but it's going to protect us from paralysis. You see, it gives us no stats. But I believe you have to check the description to see the paralysis thing. I will double check that in just a second, because, you know what? Why not? We're here. We may as well. And there we go, a chicken. Alright, what's the deal with the chicken? A real live chicken. Don't eat it, please. Yeah, that sounds like a bad idea. Do not swallow a chicken whole. But we can sell that chicken for money. Yeah, there you go. It does tell us about it protecting us from paralysis, so that's good. That's a very handy thing. For the chicken. Don't for the chicken. If we try to for the chicken, it will just run away. Shigesato Itoi really did say, hey, don't for the chicken. He did not want us to think about that. And you know what? Fair enough. Alright, so we get some health back. And we get our status of not having a cold. Let me tell you, not having a cold is really good. Like, you feel so much better after it goes away, even though it's kind of a minor thing. And yet, what do we got over here? A luck capsule. That we can feed to somebody to give them an extra point of luck. I think I should probably just give that to Ness right away, but... you know what? Sure. Let's drink the luck capsule, apparently. Oh, I forgot that the spinning robos have shield. That'll make this fight a lot more annoying, but we got through it. Taking only, well, some amount of damage. And here's the present box we got earlier. Is this just sort of a loop? Yes, I think it is. Yes, it is. Well, that is not what I was remembering it to be. I think the other present is not down here. There's one more present in the area, which has a pretty nice item that we want to grab while we have the chance. Alright, 3 mobile sprouts. Let's see if we can just take them all out with the old eye-hurting attack. Almost. And of course you healed. What a jerk. However, that was worth a decent amount of experience, so I guess it was worth it in the end. Alright, keep going up this way. I'm just going backwards now, aren't I? Yeah, I think I am. This part of this area is just not something I remember that well, I guess. Alright, see if we can despawn the spinning robo. I don't want to fight a whole lot of those for now. Okay, yeah, so this way. Oh, here's this. A croissant. There we go. We got a healing item. That's not what I was thinking was around here. A bomb. Yeah. Let's speaking of bombs, we got an exploding tree. Fuck. Not what I wanted to have happen, but at least I didn't get in the fight with the tree. I'm pretty sure that I'm dead here, but I guess it depends on if the game decides to have mercy. Nope. We got told to GTFO. Yeah, so this does present a bit of an issue that right now our access to further defensive gear is not particularly great. So we pretty much just have to plug through this and hope we get there or level up enough to become so strong that these enemies are complete jokes. Whichever happens first. And this time we don't have an eye damaging attack, so we just have to do this the regular way. And yes, by the way, for fights like this, I am avoiding auto battle just because sometimes it can act a little bit funky, even though I probably could just turn on auto battle and be like, hey, yeah, let this solve itself. On the other hand, we have no PP, so it's not like we'll use life ups that are not necessary. This isn't a good time to have no PP, though, because now we have the cold. Okay, what's going on, man? Somebody needs to get a hit here. After like 4 turns. That was unusual, to say the least. Oh, don't turn when an enemy rams into you. That's not useful. Uh-oh. My controller came unplugged. Give me just a second here. You're gonna see some cursor. And by you're gonna see some cursor, I mean that actually I'm going to have to reset the emulator. And by came unplugged, I don't really mean came unplugged. I mean that it disconnected briefly from the Bluetooth, I guess. Huh, that's weird. 1 second.